from this side first, and then we'll go move on to questions from this side. Who wants to go first? Yes, please.
Hi, Captain. Yesterday, Ryan said that the team is grappling with finding the right balance between taking 20 wickets and showing up the batting. So, in that context, what is the team combination and about Bumrah's availability as well, if you can say?
No, Bumrah bhai is definitely available. We're just gonna see, how to manage his workload in the upcoming test matches. And yes, we are trying to find the right combination where we can take 20 wickets and score runs as well on these kind of wickets. We just thought we're gonna have a final look today once we come to the ground and see what kind of combination that we want to go with tomorrow.
क्या पहले टेस्ट मैच की कप्तानी के बाद कुछ आप बता सकते हैं कि किस तरीके से आपने टीम को एक तरीके से रीएड्रेस किया, मतलब क्योंकि मैचेस हम 4 दिन हम अच्छा खेले, लास्ट दिन पे कुछ गलतियां हुई, वहां से टेस्ट मैच निकला और इन बिटवीन भी कुछ गलतियां हुई. ऐसे समय में आप कैसे अपनी टीम को एड्रेस करते हैं जब मैक्सिमम मैच आपने अच्छा खेला हो बट थोड़ी थोड़ी गलतियों से आप टेस्ट मैच हार जाते हैं?
जी, आपने जैसा बोला कि बहुत सारे मोमेंट्स मैच में हमने अच्छे खेले, बट आई थिंक जो मोमेंट्स हमारे उतने अच्छे नहीं कि वो हमने काफी खराब खेले. तो जब आप ऐसी टीम के अगेंस्ट मैच खेलते हैं और आपको मेक श्योर करना होता है कि जो आप अच्छा कर रहे हैं वो तो कर रहे हैं, जो आपके खराब हो वो इतना खराब ना हो कि आपको कम्प्लीटली गेम से बाहर चले जाएं आप. और डे 5 पे आते हुए हम सबको पता था कि इतना इजी नहीं होगा, चाहे 350 है बोर्ड पे, बट विकेट में उतनी हेल्प नहीं थी बॉलर्स के लिए. हमको बहुत ही कंसिस्टेंटली टाइट लाइंस डालने की वहां पे जरूरत थी, जो आई थिंक हमने फर्स्ट सेशन में बहुत अच्छे से डाला. उनके कोई इतने रन उन्होंने स्कोर नहीं किए थे फर्स्ट आवर में और फर्स्ट सेशन में, बट हमने ड्यूक्स बॉल के साथ स्पेशली इस ग्राउंड में देखा है कि जैसे बॉल पुराना होता है तो रन बनाना ईजी हो जाता है और रन्स कंटेन करना अगर आप विकेट नहीं निकाल रहे हो तो बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है. तो वही था कि हमने बॉलिंग अच्छी की, कंसिस्टेंट बॉलिंग की, बट बिकॉज हम विकेट्स नहीं ले पाए, कुछ हाफ चांसेस हमारे साथ नहीं गए. पूरे पीरियड में हमने कुछ कैचेस भी ड्रॉप किए. इजी नहीं होता ऐसी विकेटों पे जब आप कॉन्स्टेंटली कैचेस ड्रॉप कर रहे हैं, स्पेशली जब चांसेस क्रिएट कर रहे हैं बॉलर्स. बट आई थिंक ओवरऑल बहुत सारे पॉजिटिव्स थे हमारे पिछले मैच में भी. आई थिंक उनका 200 रन पे कोई विकेट नहीं था, उसके बाद भी हम जिस तरीके से गेम में आए, एक पॉइंट पे ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैच अगर एक विकेट और वहां पे जाता तो मैच काफी अच्छा और इंटरेस्टिंग मैच होने के चांसेस थे.
शुभन, योर फर्स्ट सीरीज एज ए कैप्टन, और ये कितना डिफिकल्ट होता है या आप कितना चैलेंजिंग होता है जब आपको पता है कि प्रायर टू द सीरीज के आपके जो बेस्ट बॉलर हैं, ऐसे कंडीशन में जो बेस्ट विकेट टेकर है वो सिर्फ 3 मैच करेंगे, पूरा सीरीज अवेलेबल नहीं होगा. ये प्लानिंग में कितना आप लोग कैसे इस चीज को एड्रेस करते हैं?
सर जी, डिफिकल्ट रहता है, बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे जो हमने ये टीम पिक किया, दीज आर द बेस्ट प्लेयर्स इन इंडिया. जो हमारा स्क्वाड है ये बेस्ट 15 या 16 बेस्ट प्लेयर्स हैं पूरे इंडिया में. तो जैसा मैंने बोला डिफिकल्ट रहता है, बट कोई ऐसा भी नहीं है कि इम्पॉसिबल टास्क होता है. जो दूसरे भी बॉलर्स हैं उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्म किया, इसलिए वो कंट्री के लिए खेल रहे हैं. और लकीली हमारे पास बहुत अच्छा टैलेंट है, बहुत अच्छा पूल है, और इसी की वजह से हम घर के बाहर आके जब भी खेल रहे हैं तो इतने अच्छे मैचेस बहुत अच्छे से कम्पीट कर रहे हैं दूसरी टीम्स के अगेंस्ट, और इतने क्लोज मैचेस हो रहे हैं.
मैं एक कैचिंग की बात करी कप्तान, लेकिन क्या आप बता पाओगे, आप स्लिप में खूब खड़े थे, ये इंग्लैंड में स्लिप कैचिंग इतना मुश्किल क्यों होता है? क्या विकेट के पीछे बॉल स्विंग होता है, क्यों इतनी मुश्किल होती है?
जी सर, ये एक फैक्टर है कि विकेट के पीछे बॉल स्विंग होता है, और यहाँ पे देखा होगा आपने कि बॉल साइड करने में कभी कभी बहुत प्रॉब्लम होती है, स्पेशली जो फील्डर्स विकेट के स्क्वायर में खड़े होते हैं या फिर विकेट के पीछे खड़े होते हैं. बॉल साइड में उनकी टीम को भी और हमको भी, जैसे पीछे स्टैंड्स हैं या फिर जैसे पीछे विजुअल्स होते हैं, तो कभी कभी बॉल बिल्कुल बहुत लेट साइड होती है या फिर साइड होती है बीच में नहीं, अच्छे से साइड नहीं होती है. तो ये कुछ फैक्टर्स हैं. कभी कभी आप स्पेशली जब बॉल स्लिप के पीछे थोड़ा बॉल स्विंग भी हो जाता है और अच्छे से अगर साइड भी नहीं होगा तो डिफिकल्ट रहता है कैच पकड़ना. बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे हम सबको पता है ये चीजें कि साइड करना मुश्किल होता है और बॉल स्विंग भी होगी और डिफिकल्ट होता है. बट हम सब ने उस चीज की बहुत प्रैक्टिस की है. कभी कभी होता है कि मैच में 1-2 कैच छूटते हैं, ऐसा बहुत कम होता है कि इतने 5-7 कैच छूट जाने बहुत ही कम मैचेस में होता है. होपफुली आगे ऐसा नहीं होगा.
शुभमन, आपने अभी बात की लर्निंग्स की, लीड्स की लर्निंग्स यहाँ पर इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे. कल आपने यहाँ पर पिच भी देखी, कोच के साथ काफी देर तक बात भी की, फिर असिस्टेंट कोच ने 2 स्पिनर की बात भी की, तो कैसा लाइनअप आप देख रहे हैं? प्रैक्टिस सेशंस में भी यहाँ पर हमने देखा कि यूजुअली हम नहीं देखते कि सारे ही प्लेयर्स जो है वो सब कुछ कर रहे हो। यहाँ 4 दिन तक हमने देखा कि ऑल स्क्वाड डूइंग एवरीथिंग। किस तरीके की लाइनअप सोच रहे हैं आप लोग?
सर लास्ट मैच में आमतौर पर ऐसा होता नहीं है कि इंग्लैंड में आपको 2 स्पिनर खेलते हुए दिखते हैं, बट थोड़ा वेदर उतना टिपिकल नहीं रहा है, उतनी बारिश यहाँ पे और धूप भी बहुत अच्छी निकली हुई है। लास्ट मैच में भी हमें फील होगा 4th इनिंग में हमारे पास एक एक्स्ट्रा स्पिनर होता तो गेम और अच्छी बन सकती थी। थोड़े पैचेस थे विकेट में जो एक्सप्लॉइट कर सकते थे हम, और जब भी जड्डू भाई डाल रहे थे एक तरह से तो लग रहा था कि चांसेस क्रिएट हो रहे हैं, और रन्स को कंटेन करना भी हमें लगा कि इजी है फॉर स्पिनर्स देन फास्ट बॉलर्स, स्पेशली जब बॉल पुराना हो जाता है और इन कंडीशन में बॉल 30-40 ओवर के बाद उतना स्विंग नहीं हो रहा है, विकेट्स भी अच्छे हैं बैटिंग करने के लिए। तो अगर फास्ट बॉलर्स आपको उतने चांसेस क्रिएट नहीं बन पा रहे हैं फास्ट बॉलर्स के लिए उतने चांसेस, तो हमको लगता है कि मे बी ए सेकंड स्पिनर ऑन दीज काइंड ऑफ विकेट्स आपको अगर चांसेस नहीं भी क्रिएट करके देगा तो एटलीस्ट एक रन कंटेन करके देगा सेकंड न्यू बॉल आने तक, जहां पे फिर और चांसेस बनने का। तो पिछले मैच को देख के मुझे लगा कि मे बी अगर सिमिलर ही विकेट यहाँ पे रहने वाला है जैसा पिछले मैच में था, तो एक दूसरा स्पिनर वोंट बी अ बैड ऑप्शन।
Shubman, how difficult it is to take a call on somebody like Kuldeep because he is a specialist bowler, while he's not seen as a batsman. At the same time, you have to also want a longer batting lineup, but you also want a wicket taker. And at times it is sunny here, at times it is cloudy. So how difficult are these calls?
They are difficult calls for sure, but I think you have to kind of manage. If you're going with an extra spinner, the only thing that then you have to see is how do you manage him on day one if you are bowling on day one. And ideally, if at all there is anything on these kind of wickets, it is on day one in the first session or first couple of sessions. So taking a call on that and see how would you manage your second spinner, especially on day one, is the main call that you have to take on these kind of wickets.
So what is your call on?
You'll get to know about it tomorrow.
कैप्टन पेस बॉलर्स का हमने देखा पिछले मैच में बारिश बुमराह की थोड़ा सा टाइम लग गया सेटल होने में, तो पेस और यहाँ पे स्लोप भी एक चैलेंज है। प्रैक्टिस में भी वही बोला कि स्लोप एक चैलेंज होता है। पेस बॉलर्स के साथ क्या बातचीत हो रही है आपके? इंडिविजुअली ऑफ कोर्स मॉर्निंग के साथ काफी काम किया जा रहा है, तो इस मैच में एटलीस्ट जल्दी एक्लिमेटाइज हो या कस्टम हो, तो उनके साथ क्या बातचीत हो रही है?
इम्पोर्टेंट बात यही है कि इन इंग्लैंड की जैसी बैटिंग लाइनअप आप कितने कंसिस्टेंटली एक एरिया पे डाल सकते हो। थोड़ा भी उनको लूज बॉल या अच्छे बॉल को भी वो मारते हैं, तो कभी कभी एज अ बॉलर कंसिस्टेंटली जब बॉल और विकेट से उतना नहीं हो रहा है डालना डिफिकल्ट रहता है। तो मेन बात ये है कि हम एज अ बॉलिंग यूनिट कितना ज़्यादा कंसिस्टेंटली एक एरिया पे डाल सकते हैं। हमने देखा है कि स्क्वायर ऑफ द विकेट रन बनानी ईजी है, सामने उतने रन कंपैरेटिवली जितने स्क्वायर ऑफ द विकेट रन बनते हैं या पीछे रन बनते हैं उतने सामने रन वो नहीं बना रहे, तो कितना ज्यादा हम उनको सामने खिलाने को देख सकते हैं।
Doubts around Jasper and how much he's going to play and the want to have all the all-rounders and unpredictable decisions, is there a risk that you become a bit cluttered or a bit confused in your thinking?
Not really, because I think we knew prior to the series that he would only be playing 3 test matches, so we had all the possible different combinations that we might go with depending on what kind of wicket that we are playing with prior to the series. So you definitely do miss your best bowler if he's not playing, but I think we kind of had that sorted before the series that who we would be playing if he would not be playing.
Shubman, in the first test we saw that the conditions for batting were pretty decent through the match, and you said you're expecting more of the same in this match also. So considering your top order did well and you also have good batting conditions, what is the ideal depth? Like, do you need batting till 8, 9, or does that give you the option for going with 4 pure balls?
Ideally, yes, you would want to have your batting depth till 7, or if your 8 can bat a little bit. But if you're going till 9, I think it's difficult to take 20 wickets on these kind of wickets that we are playing on. So it's about finding the right combination for that particular condition and that particular ground. And I think if we are able to go with 4 or 5 premier bowlers with maybe a 6th bowling option and then have a batting till 7 or 8, I think that would be a good combination for us.
Shubman, twice or thrice in Leeds, India had the opportunity to bat England out of the game. 350, 430 for 3, 350 for 5. England lower order between 7 and 10, 112 runs, ours between 15 and 20. Has there been any specific talk on that the lower order needs to be more involved and contribute and not throw away their wickets? Is there any thought or any discussion on that?
Yes, sir, definitely. It's been one of the things that, we always talk about, especially with our betting depth, that our betting lower order sometimes isn't able to contribute as much as the other teams. But having said that, you can also look at the other side as well. I was betting on 147, and the way I got out, maybe I could have scored 50 more runs partnership with Rishabh. If you get a good ball and you get out, that's fine, but once you are set and you know that you don't really have that much depth in your batting order, maybe the top order could go take a little bit of more responsibility and bat completely out of the game. So I think these are different perspectives to look at the game, but definitely your lower order, when your last 5 or 6 doesn't contribute as much, then it becomes easier for the opposition to come back in the game.
Shubman, you mentioned about Bumrah's last minute call. Ryan also said that yesterday. So the whole makeup of the bowling combination, how much does it affect the others around it? Will it be a straight swap with someone, or will Bumrah's unavailability affect the kind of spinner you would want, a wicket-taking spinner or a run-holding spinner? And does that lead to confusion on the morning of the match, because you'll be taking that call at the last moment, as everyone is saying?
So we will take that call this evening, and I don't think it'll be a direct swap. It wouldn't change the combination as such.
So you're clear which spinner you want to play?
Yes, kind of. Just want to see the wicket. I haven't seen the wicket today. Just want to see the wicket one last time before we decide on the playing 11 in the evening.
Sure. Before the last test, you had said that you are willing to play 4 tailenders if that means that you get 20 wickets cheaply. Is it time yet? And secondly, what was your experience as a captain? What is something that you did well, and what are the lessons that you gained from it?
A lot of lessons, like when we were batting, like I said, I felt I could have, now looking back at it, the kind of shot that I played, I felt I could have batted a little bit more, had a more maybe 50-run partnership out there with Rishabh. That was my learning from when I was batting. And when we were bowling, there were learnings like once the ball is getting old and it's getting soft, there isn't much happening. So how would you contain, or how would you control the run flow, especially with the way they bat? And like I mentioned, maybe having an extra spinner might help contain that run flow, especially in the 3rd or in the 4th innings.
At first, what 4 tailenders do you think?
I mean, no, like, yes, we did play an extra bowler, I would say, like a proper 4th bowling all-rounder in the last match. And now having to look back at it, I think nobody really expects that your last 6 is gonna get out in under 40 runs. Even if they play bad, you expect maybe score 100 runs or 80 runs. And these are things that you can't really plan, or you can't really expect, but you can reflect on those things. And we have some things in mind on how, if we are in this kind of a situation again, how we can get better at it.
No, I meant, are you willing to play now 4 tailenders to get 20 wickets as cheaply as possible?
Yes, definitely. It's always our first priority would always be on these kind of wickets, how we can get 20 wickets rather than playing that extra better.
Captain, in the first test, I think you batted very well, and for most of the match your team played really well, and in the end you still lost. So for the second test, does that make you feel worried or sad?
Not really. I mean, you definitely feel disappointed, having we were on top of our game for 4 days, and the last day didn't go as planned. There was a little bit of disappointment for sure, but there were a lot of positives as well, and it also gives you the confidence that we were very close. There were some key moments in the game where I felt we could have really nailed it and maybe batted England out of the game, and or we could have left the losing scenario out of the game, and either it could have been a draw or a win for us. There were chances where we could have really done that. And having to look back at it now, I feel there were a lot of positives for us, and we were really close in the game. So, as a captain or as a player, you would always want to look at the positives, that where we were really good, how we can improve on the things that we were not so good at.
You need it to be 1-1 though, don't you, Captain? 'Cause
Sorry?
1-1 would seem good, 2-0 will be hard.
As a team or as a captain, you would always you would want to go into a test match to be able to win a test match. You never go into a test match thinking you want to go for a draw or you want to go out there experimenting something. We want to make sure that we play the best combination possible for that situation, and we definitely want to win this test match and the series.
Shubman, this current lot of loose ball, is it difficult to get wickets once the ball gets older? Because we heard during the WTC final also that once it gets old, it gets softer as well. So it's difficult to get wickets, A. And secondly, as far as Bumrah is concerned, was it pre-decided that which all test matches would he play, or are you taking it match by match?
Firstly, it was not pre-decided because there was a bit of a gap between first and second. If there would have been first two matches together, then gap, then it would have been kind of pre-decided. But because there was a gap between the test match, we thought, we'd see how the test matches go. There might be a scenario where a test match gets over in 3 days, or it gets washed out or rained out. So we didn't want to go into the series pre-deciding on that. So what was the other question?
The loose ball.
I've spoken to some of the players who were part of the 2018-2019 series, and they said the balls were slightly different in that series. Even in the 21 series as well, that the ball was doing a little bit more. The ball stopped doing between 40 to 60, but then 60 to 80, the ball started doing again a little bit. And in this match that we played, and even in WTC that we saw, after the 40 overs or 45 overs, the ball becomes quite soft. So even if there is something happening from the ball, because it's soft, it's not the carry or there's not enough from the ball where you keep creating chances from the ball.
Final question.
I don't know what your cricket history is like, but are you aware of India's record on this ground and why you should have never won it in Test cricket?
I don't really believe, and I don't know how many tests we would have played, but I'm sure it would have been over a period of 40, 50, 60 years. And the teams that might have played those 7, 10 tests, how many ever tests we have played, would have been different, and the England team also would have been different. I believe the Indian cricket team that has come here is the best Indian cricket team, and we are able to beat any side.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you, Anand.